All right. Okay. Hey, guys. Doreen and I were talking, and we've been having this discussion about our live we had earlier tonight. And when we were having the discussion, I said, you know what? We should record this discussion, um, just so maybe we can find some kind of understanding. Because tonight, during tonight's live, um, it came off as if Doreen said that addiction is a weakness. And
And that's not what I was saying. I don't think
I,
addiction is a
I said
weakness.
I was going to say something, right?
Okay, go ahead.
Okay. Defensive, right? Off the bat. Just saying. But um, I thought it would be, what the fuck was I saying now?
That I
Anyway,
said that people who have an addiction are weak.
are we? Okay. And I wanted to say that, and I'll give you a chance. Clearly, we're here, right, to talk about it. But um, I disagreed with that, and a lot of the chat didn't like that you said that.
Mhm.
You know? And so I wanted us to talk about, and then we also kind of opened a door, I think, to why you said that, why you felt that way,
Right.
you know and I thought maybe we could talk about it a little bit and see how do you feel and try to clarify, right,
Yeah.
whether you look at addiction as a weakness or a disease or whatever. So go ahead and
I don't see addiction itself as a weakness. I know that addiction is a disease. Um,
where do you think it comes from, Dor?
well, for one, I think it's sort of hereditary, and mm, I think it comes from lack of life.
Lack of life?
Hmm.
What do you mean by lack of life?
Like
Do you
a person who, like a child raised with users, or people who drink,
you
alcoholics, and
Yeah.
maybe like kids who I don't want to say abused, but I want to say were not, um, like I had said. Um, I don't know if it was in the live tonight or it was in the other live. How parents don't pay attention to their children.
Yeah.
So like children who are not raised, like proper, like very lax parents. Um, Maybe kids who want attention from their parents and don't get it.
Yeah.
Grow up, grow up feeling
Worthless.
insecure, worthless,
Yeah.
low self-esteem, and yeah, and they probably have more of the tendency to become addictive to something.
And then all of those type of things, and then there's major extremes of abuse, right? Like yeah, it's like the
Yeah,
child, you're missing something from some point,
right.
right? And then it can be much more tragic than that. And do you think that tragic things can happen later on in life that could draw you to that?
Most definitely.
Yeah. And why do you think that someone would be drawn to that? What are what are they looking for in
Well, I think that anyone who's drawn to any kind of
substance?
addiction, substance, um, is trying to forget what they've gone through in the past, and I think they're really trying to numb out or blank out all the bad and the hurt that they've gone through in the past.
You know, when you were saying that, I was thinking like it almost becomes like your warm hug, right?
Yeah,
Like when you're starving for something, it somehow replaces that void and it becomes that love or that hug or that
right. And that's why I said, like, my ex-boyfriend, he's married. He married the bottle. He's married to his beer. He's married to the alcohol.
that took you a bit to realize, huh? Didn't it?
Say that again. I can't hear you that well.
That took you a bit to realize, did it?
Oh yeah, but a long time ago, I realized
Yeah.
that he's married to the bottle. Yes, that I'm not number one. I don't think I'm number two. I don't know where I fit in or fit in at that at that time because
At
it
what
wasn't it wasn't me. I was not first priority, for anything, nor was I second priority. And I'd like to get out, to everyone that when I say this, I'm not talking about something that happened to me many years ago. I'm talking about today, today. So it's still fresh today. The 14 years are
right now?
right now. Yeah. Well, they stopped, but yeah,
Yeah,
14 years.
right.
Actually, April 27th would have made 14 years.
And he's still a part of your life in some form. As
In
far
some sense, relationship wise, no. Uh, a needy person, perhaps, maybe. Not me being not the neediness on my part, the neediness on his part.
what's he need? Need from you, you're saying?
No, he doesn't need anything from me. Well, he did for all those years, money, food, etc., but not anymore. What is he doesn't need anything from me now. He
Right
just
now.
needs things that
Well,
are still here that are his reasons to come back, I suppose, but not he's not coming back to me. He, maybe he comes back here to show me that he's okay or he's fine, but in reality, what he considers to be fine is not wouldn't be fine to the average person.
well, because alcoholics can be very unreasonable. Any addict can be very unreasonable,
Oh,
right?
sure, and especially when they don't get what they want.
Yeah, yeah. When they want it. And that's
Oh yeah, yesterday.
Yeah,
Yeah.
you know. And so,
So I've lived 14 years with an alcoholic, basically, well, in a relationship with an alcoholic for 14 years. The beginning of my relationship, I did not know that he was an alcoholic because it just didn't look that way. I guess he put on a good act or tried his damnedest not to drink so much around me, but God knows what he was feeling on the inside because you notice that little like the attitude or the crankiness or they shut you out and they just don't want to talk to you. They don't want to talk to anybody. They want to be by themselves and on their own because they can't deal with life. They can't deal with anything because they don't have that drink or that substance,
yeah.
whatever.
Does that make you angry at him or with him?
Well, what makes me angry is that I wasted 14 years of my life. He's a person who I thought could change, would change. Um, I've heard for so many years, "Oh, I don't need it," really, like, "I feel so much better without it, and, I think I'm not gonna drink, and, there's other things, yeah, I can eat, I can this, I can that," and so you have high hopes that this is actually true, and you see the person go a week without any alcohol, and you say, "Well, hey, they went a whole week, and, like." And then you go out and you buy them, like the vitamin or whatever it is that you need that will prevent withdrawals, and you say, "Well, this is all gonna be okay now, we're just gonna have to take this supplement and, everything's gonna be fine." But that's just not the case. So, disappointment after disappointment, and, it's like you just never give up hope for whatever reason, and
Yeah.
you just feel like well, they say, like, alcoholics, it'll take, like, so many tries before they actually get it, and so you say, "Well, then maybe the next one, and then maybe the next one, maybe the next one," and, like, they're never the ones, and so you wasted your whole life, well, all those years, your better years, with someone who you thought would change, that you like I said, you had high hopes for. You
Mhm.
thought, like, you were actually gonna have a life with this person, like, "Where's the ring? Where's the ring?" Like, they're always talking about the ring, like, they tell you things that
Are gonna
you
happen, right,
right, that you actually wanted to hear at that time, not now,
right.
and, it's just a big disappointment, a big disappointment. I mean, you if anybody was going into a relationship and knew that, well, listen, that person who you gonna be with, if you knew that you were gonna waste 14 years of your life and go through all these struggles and all these heartaches and all these hard times and help the person and take care of the person and do everything for the person and be their backbone and be their backup and support them and nothing in return, you wouldn't do it. But
But
you
you
don't
don't
know that. You don't foresee that. You don't know that. You just have high hopes. And when I say weak, it's because when I see a person that well, not well him, that can go a week or so without the alcohol and, don't seem like it affects them at all that they're not having it. They're with you, they seem happy, they're giddy, they're doing things with you, and you're like, "All right, so, this is it, this is great." And, it's not true. It's just not true. And it took me, whew, many years and many tears to realize that.
Yeah.
So, it's hurtful because
Yeah.
not only are they destroying themselves, but they've destroyed you. They've damaged you. For all those years, you are damaged. And you can't take that back. You can't take that away.
Well, sweetheart, um, you know, you can't take it back. You can't. But you also can't give somebody that much power still. And that's where the healing comes in. You know what I mean? It is still very raw. You are still very hurt. It's time after time of, okay, it's going great. It looks good. This is the time, right? This is the time. And then, no, it's not the time. And then again, okay, all right, we're good.
It's
We're
like
doing
somebody gives you a gift, like a box of boxes that you're so excited and you have to tear each one. You open up one and there's another box inside of that, and you have to open that one, and you're just waiting for you keep going and keep going and keep going, and you're waiting for that. Ooh, what is it? What's that last box going to be? And
it's a fucking
it's,
jack in the box.
yeah,
You know.
right. Exactly. Yeah.
I'm sorry about that. And I always tell you one thing you said is you gave your best years. And I don't accept that from you. You don't know what the best years are. You've got to heal from this to see what's next. You know, if 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 you want to, I think it's still very heavy on your heart. Whether you
I just feel like I've been betrayed.
Of course you do. And that is a reasonable thing. And because I wanted to ask you this because if you don't mind answering it, how old was he when he started drinking?
Mm. That I know, he's had his first drink when he was like 6 years old. When he indulged in it, I think he was 13.
So that's pretty young.
Mhm.
And so when was do you know what age he was like a pretty regular drinker?
Mm. Probably like 16, 17.
Started drinking every day.
Yeah.
At least like and started like in the overindulgence.
Mm. Mhm.
Yeah. So then he was already, would you say, an alcoholic before you guys were
Well,
together?
now that I know what I know,
Yeah.
I would say yes. When we first got together, I wouldn't have thought that.
Right.
Yeah.
No, because and like we talked about in the show earlier, when you first start dating somebody and especially like having fun, letting loose, it's not uncommon to like go out for drinks or have drinks, right?
Right.
So you don't think anything of it.
But at all, no.
No. And even it's almost like the overindulgence is acceptable a little bit.
Yeah.
Yeah. So you don't notice anything.
No.
And it takes time for that to all unwrap,
Yeah.
especially when someone is good. And let's point out, too, you've not lived together
Right.
for the 14 years. You both had
Right.
your own houses. So I want to make that clear, too, because that gives a lot of space.
Oh, yeah, exactly,
You
because
know,
right, so you don't know, so you don't know, because right, you don't live with the person, you don't know that they're getting up in the morning and the first thing that they're doing is consuming a bottle of friggin' beer. You don't know that.
right.
They come and see you, they don't seem like they had anything to drink, they seem great, fine, and but as the years go on, you'll see that the way that person is is with alcohol in them. And
The difference, you mean,
like
in person?
you realize that, well, as you go further and further and further in the relationship, naturally the disease progresses. And
Mhm.
so it's more and more alcohol that the person needs to function. So what you saw in the beginning that you thought wasn't any alcohol actually was alcohol, just at a lower level.
Right.
Yeah.
Because you got to make it look good,
Right.
you know, or at least that was the thought,
Mhm. Exactly.
I imagine. So you're still currently hurting from this now. I
Yeah, apparently I am. I guess I am, because if I wasn't, tears wouldn't naturally automatically just flow.
yeah, but yeah, and yeah. So I just, I want you to heal from this, you know, if you can or willing and all of those things.
Mhm.
Unfortunately, I think I don't know. I'm no psychiatrist, psychologist, or anything like that. Just my personal experience is that you almost gotta cut it because like we were discussing before, there's the door open to come and go as you would like still, and when it's convenient for you.
You're right, but that's just my nature. I'm just a nice person, and I can't help that. I mean, I'm still gonna worry about the person. I'm still going I don't want anything bad to happen to the person. Like
Mhm.
I was telling you the other day, like I haven't heard from him in a couple, quite a while. I hope he's not dead, at home, dead somewhere. Yeah, so you still worry and you still want the best for the person. You know,
Of course you
I'm not
do.
evil. Like, I don't wish bad on him. I want him to be okay. I want him to be, fine, happy, whatever. But that's not my life. But if you need something, you're hungry, even a bath, I'm just going to let you do it because that's just me. Like Dave, right? I let
Uh,
Dave.
right, how about um when okay, you let him come by and do these things or, whatever you do, the different things. And
Well, you've been there.
yeah,
You've
that's
seen
what I'm
it.
saying. I'm just saying the different things that, they're
Right.
whatever it is.
And
There's
I mean,
different
and you see, I'm not ogling over him or anything, like there's no.
I don't think I don't think that at all. You've made that abundantly clear to me. And
Mhm.
you also know I never tried to guide you in any direction.
Mhm.
You know what I mean? And I just want anybody to know that. I always want what is best for you and whatever you choose to, you know what I mean?
I know.
So, like, I've never told you, kick him to the curb. I've never said
I
any
know. I
stuff. So,
know.
um, but yeah, for he comes and does the different things, right? And how often of those times is it a good exchange? Is it like
Not
leave a good taste in your mouth when he leaves?
not that often. More so it turns into a little
Frustration?
yeah, a little argument or a little, yeah, most of the time. Sometimes it's okay, it's quiet, it's decent, but those times are far and few. Usually it's me being, I guess, the mother, you know. Did you
Yeah,
eat? Have you eaten? What are you doing? How come, you need to do this or you need to do that? Why aren't you doing them? And they don't want to hear that. They don't want to know about anything of any responsibility. Nothing. Especially if it's them who has to do it. Now, if you went out of your way and went and did it for them, I have no problem with it. Anything that comes easy is great. But to go out there and physically do it yourself, no. So, yeah, there's the argument, because we don't want to hear it. We don't want to hear it. We shut you out. We shut you out as soon as you start talking about those things.
as soon as you say the first 2 words, it's over.
Yes. Mhm.
Because, like I say, always say you can't reason with unreasonable.
No,
And and I'm not just talking. I'm not talking about him
I
specifically.
know. You're talking about in general. Yes.
Just in general. It's like you can't try to reason with somebody that just can't isn't reasonable. Everything turns into an argument, and it's not even a reasonable argument, right? It's a stop argument, you know. And so it makes it so frustrating. Like, why can't it just be fucking decent ones? Why can't it just be appreciative?
Right.
You know?
So this hard candy covered shell of mine
Mhm.
that is not filled with chocolate or a peanut.
Or be that.
It's there for protection, I guess. I guess I try to shield myself from any other hurt because he's not the first hurt. There's so much hurt from all different situations, and you know,
Mhm.
after a while, you do build, you know, a shield.
Wa- Walls to protect you.
Yeah,
Yeah.
yeah.
So can I ask you something really?
Go ahead.
Like, do you think when we started out that conversation that was hasty? Because one thing that you did say when we were talking is you're like, you and me are biased. And you're right in some aspects, right? That there's a lot of ways that we're biased. But as far as although I also want to point out, and I'm as far as addiction and that being a weakness as a whole,
Yeah.
you you feel you don't feel that way, right?
No,
And you
I'm actually just singling out somebody.
right, right. It's
That's
like
all. I'm just
right,
singling out somebody who has hurt me, who has disappointed me, who has that's it.
let you down in a lot of ways. So, and a lot of times,
Right.
you know, it's very hurtful. It is heartbreaking.
Yeah.
It's very heartbreaking to have to walk away from somebody that you love because alcohol is more important,
Yeah.
you know.
Like I said, like I told you a couple of days ago, even on a day that he is sober, he's just not the same person that he was. Alcohol has gotten the best of him. His brain is just he's not even the same person that I met from the beginning. He doesn't have the same personality. He doesn't have the same like anything about him, the same demeanor. It's just not there. Like that's been taken away from him, or well, this is the way he chooses. I don't know to be, or maybe he doesn't even know he's being that way. I don't know,
I truthfully don't think he's aware. I really don't.
and that's sad too.
And that's just my personal opinion from
Right,
exposure. I really don't.
and that's sad too. That when a person wakes up and they're sober, you're like, oh well, at least I'm going to get a glimpse of or feel or of you know
I get a little peek into a window of what once was,
and
right?
it's just not there because they're just not the same, even sober. Just not the same.
Did you look hard for that?
Oh yeah,
Yeah, I think we all do,
yeah, yeah.
or I don't know, look for hope. You do. You hang on
Yeah,
to hope,
you're you're 100% right. You do look for hope,
you know, you hang on to hope, and it just eventually you do start to realize that there
and
is no.
while you're the one that's crumbling, you, not that person, you're crumbling. That person is going on, just having a nice happy day. Like like nothing, nothing, nothing. You could cry in front of them and they won't even understand why. They, they just go on.
Yeah. Well, they're not interested.
Right. They're
Their
just
investment is somewhere else.
they're just gone. They're gone.
Yeah. And I hate that. And I hate that for you. And I also, like I said, eventually you might want to take that power back,
Mhm.
and you will,
I know.
you know. I
I
just
know.
love you. I just love you so much, really, you know. And
I love you too. You know that.
I know, but I'm so proud of you realizing, and that's the thing too. It takes time for you to unpack the whole situation you're in, right? Like, uh, oh, this
And
is
remember, you yourself are in denial for a long time too.
right. That's what
Just as
I'm.
much as they're in denial about that they don't have a problem, you're in denial that
Yeah,
this will ever change, that this is going to get better.
yeah,
You are in denial. So all the changes that you go through, on top of the hurt, on top of the betrayal,
let
on top of
down,
the
the
disappointment.
hope, the letdown, the hope, the
Yeah.
letdown, the hope, the letdown,
Yes.
the narcissistic behavior that you take it and you accept it and you believe it and you
Yeah.
okay, I'm a piece of crap. Yeah, I'm nuts, all that shit. Um, you take it and you believe it, and that breaks you down even more,
Mhm.
And then when you, like you say, you're in denial, you start to see a piece and you don't, you,
You come up with an excuse for it.
right? Like, yeah, you excuse it away. You're like, that can't be right. Moving on, right?
Mhm.
I remember literally, and I've told you this before, but I always say I remember literally trying to tell myself, do what you did before. Do what you did last time to eat the shit sandwich, right? Like, because this time it's just not going down, you
Right.
know, and you've gotten there where, like, you,
Oh, yeah.
listen, they used to slide down like ice cream, right? Yeah,
Yeah.
sure. Yep, I am. And then eventually they start coming and they're less and less. You just
Mhm.
you can't take it. You
Right.
can hear it. I see everything clear as fucking day now. I hear everything clearly,
Right.
and I can no longer.
No more, manipulation.
Mm, yeah, like you start to see
Yeah.
the jabs that they're throwing.
Right.
Then you start to realize, like, what the fuck are you talking about with each jab, right?
Yeah.
You just start to realize person is ridiculous with their bullshit, right? You start to really see it, but for
Right, and
so
like today, like when I was telling you he came here and then he was like, "Oh, I need, it's kind of cold outside. I can't, I got to change my whatever because he still has some jackets or whatever." Well, actually, they're not even his jackets. They're the jackets that I guess my son has given him
mhm,
over time. But I guess he left them here. But they're still his because my son certainly don't want them back.
yeah.
So now I feel the need, and it's a shame. It's sad. I feel the need to have to watch, like even though there's nothing in that closet other than clothes, other than just jackets or shirts. I still feel the needs now, like I have to watch what you're doing because I don't know if you're pulling a fast one on me here now. I don't. I just don't know.
Well, there's no, like you're saying, like steal something from you,
Yeah, I don't know.
and you feel that way because he's stolen from you before.
Yeah, because he has in the past, like he's stolen $20 out of my bag, when I was asleep. But then, like later on, he'll say, "Oh, I took $20 out of your. I borrowed $20 out of your bag," and I'm like, "That's not borrowing. That's not borrowing." You ask a person, you just don't take it and say it's borrowing. You don't do that. You ask a person. So that's stealing. You stole. You stole from me.
Mm.
And piggy bank, uh, every piggy bank that was filled with whatever coins, nickels, dimes, pennies, piggy banks, and any place I've thrown loose change, and here and it's all wiped out.
So I don't know that if we made it clear enough, and maybe we should, that how I don't want to like tell everything, but like he has nothing. He has drunken himself into a position where he can't hold a job. He hasn't had a job, right, for a while.
Right. He lives with his mother. His mother and always has. His mother is now in a nursing home, and she's not getting out. She's going to stay there because it's more beneficial for her to be there than it would be to go back home. And so it's his responsibility to take over the apartment and pay the bills and pay the rent. But how do you do that when you don't have a job? But you're there until
Right. And
until
and so um
landlords do give grace periods, but that's not for too long. And when they want to decide to evict you and go through the process, and then you're going to go to court and you're going to put yourself through all of that because you're just so naive that when I have to play the mommy, go down, get services, go down, get this, get that, you'd be entitled, you have this, you blah, 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 blah. We don't do any of it. So we live off the land.
so he's always looking for a quarter.
But what?
A quarter.
Oh yeah,
We'll say.
quarter.
Yeah.
He'll do flips for you for $1.
Yeah. But so that's stressful, to have to like keep my laser eye on you to know what you're doing in my
That's
house.
stressful
Yeah.
when you have to keep your eye on someone. It's stressful when you yourself live on a fixed income and you budget your money
And you depend on that quarter.
right.
Yeah.
And here comes somebody who's taking it away from you and you're giving it to them because you feel bad for them. But then when you're down and out and then you don't have, and nobody there for you. Or that person's not going to reciprocate. Let's say that in any way, shape, or form.
And they really can't. I mean,
Right.
can't.
They can. They can make money, but that money is going on their needs, their alcohol, and that's that.
Well, we're gonna keep moving forward, Tor.
Yeah,
you know, and I'm glad that we had this talk, and I'm glad that we recorded it,
me too.
you know, and I hope people understand where you were coming from.
I
Yeah,
hope so.
yeah, I know. Me too. And although it was
I
most,
am the first person to say alcoholism
yeah,
is a disease. I tell that to my son all the time.
hmm, yeah, you do.
Mhm.
Um, so I thought this needed a little bit more attention, and I thought that we could, like when we were talking earlier, I thought, you know, we should just record this conversation because
Yeah,
we're gonna go a little down a little bit of a road, and I think could be good for our
right.
friends to hear too.
Mhm.
Yeah. So thanks for sharing always. And we just keep on going down life
Yes,
journey. We keep going the journey together. And you know, my main concern has always been and is you and
I
your
know.
happiness, you
I
know,
know.
and what you deserve. And I'm like, all my friends deserve fucking gold. Come on.
Yeah, I know.
This shit is bullshit. But I've been there. You know what I'm saying? I can't say,
I
uh,
know, and that's why I can speak to you,
yeah. Well,
nobody knows me. You know me.
yeah. Well, I'm so honored to visit my best friend. All right, let's end this recording. If I
Okay.
can figure out how to do it, I might not be able to, Doreen. We might be here all night.
Well, I have to go upstairs and beg Samantha for another cigarette.
Oh, all right. Well, thanks, guys, for watching, if you did. And if you have any questions, please put them in the comments. And maybe we'll do another live and talk about it
Yes.
if you're interested. Or
Yeah.
all right, guys, we will talk to you soon. As always, love
Have a
you.
great
Sunday still. It's still gonna be Sunday.
Sunday and spread the love.
Yeah. Spread the
Love you
love.
guys.
Make good choices. Love you.
Yes.